All right, welcome to Edge of Eternities League. We're on our week 2 feature matches here. I'm joined tonight by Greg B, who's a shipmate of mine here in the league. How's it going tonight?
Yeah. Very good. Reporting for duty, Captain.
Well, we're all equal crewmates here. It's just the title. Yeah, so we got a nice matchup here. We got I'm going to be watching Kevin S, who's a new player to our league. So we called him a rookie, but in most cases, these players have been playing for a good while. And he's up against Nick A, who's pretty much been a feature match regular now for the past several leagues. What's going on in his hand over there?
Nick has an incredibly strong hand. Basically, every single card in it is very powerful. Depressurize, Bombard, Vote Out, Interceptor Mechan, which is the signpost for Black Red, and then Deadly Dispute off the Final Fantasy bonus sheet.
Okay, it looks like you might be having like a black red sack type of
Yes.
shell here. Unfortunately, Greg is running out of spells he can cast with his current mana situation. He's
Well, luckily, even with all the removal in hands, Nick just drew Oreplate Pangolin, the 2/2,
okay.
which not super impressive, but getting something on board here, I think is going to be pretty key, especially with Deadly Dispute in hand. Gives a target for that, and then Interceptor Mechan can get it back later if need be, or perhaps something better.
That'll work. So in hand for Greg, we got one castable spell in Grim Bauble, and he's got some blue draw spells here: Combat Tutorial, Cerebral Download, and he's got the Vestige, the Eldrazi.
Oh yeah, I did take a look at Kevin's pool, and that did seem like it was potentially one of the better rares in the pool. Some of the rares in there were lacking a bit of power, but that doesn't always mean the pool is bad.
Yeah, so I mean, on paper, this should be a pretty even matchup. They're both 4-2, but 4-2. But the rares and the uncommons often are going to tell the story here. But we do have a rare drawn here for Kevin, which is this Entropic Battle Cruiser. Have not seen this card do too much. Um, but it does get pretty large. 310 is like it's going to be able to attack cleanly. Just takes a while to get going.
Yeah, I have not seen it either. Now, since I'm unable to see Kevin's hand at the moment, what other colors are in his deck? I assume not mono black.
Yeah, he's got a combat tutorial and a cerebral download that he can't cast at this time.
Okay, so I do suspect Kefka has made it into the deck. I,
That
I can't imagine not trying to get that in there with those two colors.
here's the vestige coming down. The good thing about this is you can't really get your trigger ruined here because it's going to leave the
Unfortunately,
battlefield no matter what. Yeah,
that's the extremely efficient
that's
depressurize.
a rough one. But he is going to get to at least put something in play here. Possibly the virus beetle that he drew.
Oh yeah. Well, there are quite a lot of good cards in hand, so that would hit something.
Or perhaps just the Grim Bauble here. Yeah, makes sense. He has drawn a mountain, so we can
Oh,
predict
this is not going to go great here. Does
Kefka.
not line up well into the deadly dispute.
Yeah. So he did draw a mountain, so that does lead me to believe he's running that
Kefka,
Kefka.
yes.
Actually, he has his. They don't usually have this, but he has his. I guess it's untapped or something. He has his deck up on the side of the screen here, so I can
Oh,
actually see
that's
what's in
quite
his deck.
useful.
Usually I'm not. Usually I don't see that. It looks like he's playing a few different colors here potentially.
Well, the interesting thing, I mean, of course, we're seeing cards from different sets other than Edge of Eternities, but the interesting thing I have found with the league so far is that with the ability to have landers fix, you can get a little bit creative with the way you splash. It's not just based on whether or not you've got dual lands in your pool.
Yeah, so he has a plains in hand also, and a Goblin
Oh,
Shrine in his deck, and it seems to be just for Adagio, which is the white planet. I don't actually see any white cards here.
interesting. I'm looking right now at the pool to see. If there's anything. I mean, Esteli Reclaimer is in the deck, but that's not really a card to
Yeah, I
splash,
don't see
I
that. I
would
mean, I don't
imagine.
know if this thing has his entire deck on there, but I don't exactly know how it works. But in the meantime, Nick's just sort of casting his cards, not doing anything too crazy here, but
You know what it could be for?
playing spells.
Is there's 2 copies of All Faith Scroll in the
Yeah,
pool.
yeah, he's
If
sort
he's
of
running this, that'll just be a. If you have enough landers, that's just a free way to get an extra card off those,
yeah. It
or
looks like he's
somewhat
playing 2
free.
of those. It's just without green, it's a little hard to make work all these colors. I would say
Certainly,
it looks like blue is actually like it looks like he only has 1 island in the deck, but he has 2 blue cards in hand.
that
So
can be a
he's
little awkward.
yeah, so he's having a bit of trouble. Yeah, and he sees a swamp and a mountain on top. I mean, he wants to cast his vestige, but he does have a plains to cast it. Yeah, it looks like
Yeah,
he
at
has
least that you
4
don't
blue
need blue mana
cards.
for.
4 blue cards, but only 1 island. He does have the All Fate scrolls, but it's still rough if you don't have landers.
Well, with Vote Out, Bombard, and now Gravkill in hand for Nick, I think it's going to be pretty difficult to break through here. But um, at least Gravkill on Anticausal Vestige will still get the Leaves the Battlefield
He's
trigger.
going to get his Kefka in play that he drew for turn here. Another blue card that he can't cast, but he is going to get to put quite the doozy into play.
Well, I guess here you got to discard Bombard, right? And then hope to vote out Kefka on the next turn.
Yeah. So looks like he's going to discard his combat tutorial and draw 2. And one of them is an island to cast a cerebral download. So looks like things are starting to get turned around. Like
Yeah, and that did take care of all the removal spells once this Kefka gets voted out. So, despite Nick having answers for basically the Eldrazi and Kefka here, it is a little bit awkward because now Nick doesn't have cards in hand and staring down 4 for the opponent. So
Kevin's gonna refill here with this cerebral download. So
yeah,
looks like he's just gonna double block here. That is gonna grow the the
Interceptor Mechan. Yeah.
Okay, going down to 11. Gets the lander. Now the court mage is on his way out.
So depending on what comes off the cerebral download, this could swing the game pretty heavily.
Yeah, a 4/4
we'll
flyer is also gonna pull a lot of weight though.
That is true. Well, hopefully he can find an answer. Because if not, the Interceptor Mechan will take over the game. But if he does, then Nick is empty-handed. So just the Terra Pact Intimidator alone, I don't think is going to do it.
Yeah, the question now is basically, what can he find?
Dropping the Pangolin to get an extra artifact in play.
Yeah, so Rail 3 is going to be big here. That's going to get him a look at 6 potential cards.
All right, and it's another land off the top for Nick.
So Kevin's pretty close to getting this game almost fully turned around. He's just got to get rid of this 4/4, and he's got six looks at something to do it.
Yeah, you do have to like those chances.
All right, so Surveil 3, he sees nothing to deal with it. So I think all of them are going to graveyard. It's a land, a Scrapper, which is the 1-drop red common, and the white planet. None of those will do. Huh. None of these will do either.
What do you feel about the Scrapper?
He has a Scrapper in hand already. So he's
been kind of impressed with it. It's the kind of card that looks pretty bad, but there have been a lot of games that have just gone super long, and I've drawn like 4 cards off it.
Yeah, I don't think the problem is if it's terrible or not. I think the problem is I can rarely ever justify putting it in the deck. There's just everything's better than it most of the time, but
fair enough.
I could see it. Unfortunately, he just does not have the answer. He got 7 looks at it and could not find what he needed. He does have
Well,
Roving
he's still got one
Actuator in
more
hand,
turn.
which can recast a spell from the graveyard, but I don't think he actually had anything to recast of 2 mana or less.
Yeah, I have felt like that card whenever I've seen it in a pack during a draft. I just look at my deck and notice it. There's nothing I can recast except maybe the Plasma Bolt if I have one. But
Yeah, that card asks a lot, and it kind of doesn't give that much back for the work it requires.
I'm sure there must be some interesting things you can do with it, but I haven't found them yet.
Yeah, so he's just gonna have to kind of hope that whatever card he draws next turn is going to do the job. I guess he can get a second look at potential removal with the Scrapper.
Yeah. The fact that the Scrapper can sacrifice lander tokens also has been quite nice. I
Yeah.
have no clue what its win rate is looking like, but anecdotally for me, it is way overperformed what I've thought. I have reluctantly put it in my deck, and then every time I do, it's ended up being okay.
Okay, so we're down to the last card. It's an All Fate scroll here. How much does that cost to activate?
I think 7 or
Oh,
10 or
okay. So
7.
he's
I think it's 7.
basically has to dig here with this Scrapper for his last crumb of hope.
Yeah.
All right. Gets one last shot at it here, and it's a Cryogen Relic, which because of he could play his All Fate scroll, and then he'll be able to keep it locked down for a turn.
Yeah. And get 2 more cards, which
Yeah.
is
Okay.
certainly not nothing.
Okay. I mean, there is a menace
This
creature
is
on the other side, which is potentially a problem as well.
Yeah, that's true. Assuming Nick draws nothing here, I guess the block would probably just be Pangolin on Intimidator, and then you have to double block Virus
I mean,
Beetle and
on his
Wefstalker
very
Ardent.
last possible card drawn, he found the relic. He dug, nothing. It's always like that, right? On the last possible
Yeah,
card.
and boy has Cryogen Relic been a great card.
Yeah, that's a big performer.
That's one that I knew was going right into my Pauper Cube the second they spoiled it.
Okay, I have a Pauper Cube too. I haven't. That one hasn't crossed my consideration, but I guess it's pretty strong.
Well, I've liked to put the bargain cards in, like Torch
Okay.
the Tower and stuff, and that's a good
All
target for
right.
that as
All
well.
right. So looks like depending on what Nick draws, he will live to see another turn. Kevin will.
Yep, and it looks like Bombard, which luckily the Chrome Companion was able to come out. Otherwise, Bombard would have spelled, well, not total
Yeah,
doom
he would
because
have
the
gone to
Skirma
one.
is just a 2/2.
Yeah, he would
But
have gone to one. I think he
Bombard is a pretty
attacks.
decent draw,
I
though.
think he's attacking here with the Terra Pact.
Yeah, that would be my guess as well. And then hoping to get double block and then Bombard something.
Either that, he could just bombard first and then just make the blocks pretty bad
Yeah.
overall.
Alternatively, he may want to hold Bombard in hand because if Kevin draws a flyer, then Bombard can take it out, but
Yeah, and he
up to
does.
him.
He does have the All Fate
What?
scroll that he could use next turn, and he'll have a couple mana left over.
That's true. Well, it looks like he wants to fire off the Bombard pre-combat.
Makes sense. It just makes the blocks that much worse.
Yeah. Which I suspect means everything is coming in.
Yeah, I mean, if he attacks with the Skittermaw, if I'm Kevin, I think I want that off the table before the 4/3.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
agree with that.
I think he can just
Because you
get.
can just keep chumping the 4/3.
Yeah, I think he can just lose his two smaller creatures, and he can block the Skittermaw and then chump the Terra Pact and still have his 2/3. Yep, he's come to the same conclusion. Yeah, because he said, I don't want the Menace growing. The 4/3 is whatever.
Definitely. Now, having two All Faith scrolls in the deck for Kevin, that's pretty nice. You can really open up quite a variety of powerful cards and try and fit them in the deck when you have access to something like that.
Yeah, so potential answers here for Kevin, because I do see his deck list here. He has a Grav Kill, he has an Overkill, he has 2 Orbital Plunge, he has he has a Faller's Faithful that would do it too, even though his opponent would get 2
Yeah.
cards. Or no, he can't. Can he quite do everything? 1, 2, 3. No, he drew the Monoist Circuit Feeder, but that's not gonna.
1, 2, 3,
He only has
4.
4
Yeah, no, that's one
artifacts.
short.
Yeah, and he's 1 mana short of playing the Roving Actuator to give him.
Well, it at least blocks the Mechan for a turn and
Yeah,
kills the Pact Intimidator.
and also of note, he gets to attack here for 3, and his opponent's like getting. Or he gets to attack for more than that. He gets to attack for
Yeah,
7. Yeah, I mean,
that's pretty good. I mean, you are putting yourself dead to removal here, but I like this play.
he's okay. He's just gonna attack for 6 and draw a
Keeping
card. I
the
think.
Slag Draw, the sack, potentially
Yeah.
Chrome Companion or a land. Probably a land.
Okay. Yeah. So he didn't quite get enough artifacts to
Oh,
kill
and
us.
it is a removal spell off the top.
Okay. Well.
This is actually one of the best draws you can get because even though it does not remove mono as Circuit Feeder, it's Plasma Bolt, and you can send that straight to face.
That'll do it. Yeah. Unless he's got a Hail Mary 1 mana instant here.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I imagine there's something in one of the sets that's been opened that could stop it, but doesn't look like he's got that.
I mean, Kevin, he took it as far as he could take it here. Looking at his deck, he's gone really hard on the artifact theme. I think like he has 4 Chrome Companions.
Yeah, that's I'd say a pretty begrudgingly playable card.
Yeah, and he's got stuff like he's got like a Bombard in the sideboard, which I would find I would pretty badly want in my main deck.
Oh yeah, especially if you're base black red. Although I will say I have played Chrome Companion in my deck in this set, so
yeah, it's kind of like he's playing like 2 halves of a deck. Like one half is like this black red artifacts low to the ground thing, and the other half is like a 4-color card draw, splashing for card draw deck. So it's a little bit conflicting. I think the strategies. I mean, altogether the cards are good, but yeah, like
when you have the 60 card deck this early in the format, sometimes you do end up
it's like the
at odds with
the
yourself.
Deck that wants 4 Chrome Companions probably doesn't want 5 mana card draw spells, is like normally the case. But he's made it work so far, and he came back almost all the way that game. Fortunately, he's going to mulligan here.
Now, I did have a draft deck where I had to use Chrome Companion to prevent myself from milling out. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah, I don't ever want it to get to that point.
Yeah, I don't think it's the format for it. But...
and B, milling myself out.
So, it actually, just quickly to get through it so we can get back to the match, my opponent was milling me out using the spaceship that mills you when it attacks.
Okay. That's fine.
All right, so...
all good. What's Nick got over there?
Here, a hand of Cornered by Black Mages, Grav Kill, Interceptor Mechan, and Perigee Beckoner. This deck has a lot of removal.
Yeah, especially for 2 colors as well, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm playing 3 colors and I don't have that much removal, you know?
Drawing Call the Mountain Chocobo, a flashback to our previous format.
That card makes me all warm and fuzzy inside. So for Kevin, he's got a Virus Beetle, he's got a Beamsaw Prospector, and he's got that Battle Cruiser that we saw the last game, the 4 mana rare.
Yeah, I still want to see someone go off with that.
Yeah, unfortunately, he doesn't have the Eldrazi to like station it immediately.
Yeah.
that was kind of a best case scenario, and it still got depressurized.
I feel like everyone had that moment with this format when they realized the synergy between warp and station. That was very exciting.
Yep. Yeah, it's just like I'm trying not to play a lot of spacecraft in my deck. I just don't. I find it's like often it's not worth the trouble. I mean, sometimes they are, but not not always.
I mean, the rule of thumb I've found is if it has a come into play ability, I'm usually happy putting one or two in my deck, but some of them have just felt pretty do nothing.
Yeah, like I think for my league deck in my two main colors I'm playing, I have like 6 or 7 that I could run. I think I've settled on playing like two out of them.
Yeah, I think two is a good place to be because there are when the games go long, they are good win conditions.
Yeah, they do all have flying. That's one thing going for them.
But when you're
So
just trying to curve out against your opponent, they sometimes just feel like you're time walking yourself.
all right, so
Interesting.
Nick's got to discard something here.
Nick looks like he's considering discarding Bombard, and that is what he's doing, which is surprising to me.
I mean, Kevin's
Personally, I would
yeah.
discard Raven of Fell Omens, but
Oh, okay, that's an interesting one.
perhaps he is expecting to use a lot of the removal to keep triggering the Raven. But with Interceptor Mechan in hand as well, I feel like discarding a creature here would be some additional value. But
I'm
he
just
drew another Bombard right on cue, so
yeah,
I
just
guess
looking
it
at
doesn't matter too
yeah,
much.
looking at the cards in hand, it's like very lopsided here. We got a hymn of the faller that can draw a card, potentially two if something went into the void.
And here, casting Perigi Beckoner not warped, just to get in some extra
I
damage
mean, he's
and
got
put
a
a big
four or
body
five
on the
now.
board.
Like that's not getting blocked by anything.
Yeah,
Nick's got a mountain here is not helpful at all. So he's gonna have to dig here. He's gonna have to surveil one and draw one. He's not gonna get to void this, I don't think. He can't just pass and do nothing. He has to draw one, I think.
yeah, and I suspect a purpose attack with Beam Maw Prospector to trigger Void. I think Nick would probably sniff that out, so it doesn't make sense to try.
Yeah, so he him of the faller ended up with a mountain in his hand, so not exactly the desired result here. Yeah, Nick's pretty on the verge of just kind of taking over here.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I mean, I guess one out could be just drawing the Eldrazi and then drawing a card off it and put it. I don't know. I'm trying to imagine some sequence that gets Kevin back in the game, but with this many removal spells in hand and the Interceptor Mechan, it does not look good.
Yeah, I will like. I mean, Kevin's deck sort of. I mean, like with what's in play, Beamsaw, Prospector, Virus Buell seems like one for one removal would not be great against him, but in this case, it's probably just going to be enough here
Yeah,
because whatever he
and here
plays is
comes
going to
the
get removed.
Interceptor Mechan.
Yeah,
It looks like.
yeah. I'm still trying to figure out why this card is like what's red about this card. Because well, normally like with a gold card, it's like you get something from each of the colors. Here, it's like flying is
I
black,
guess
Gravedigger is
red,
black. I don't get it.
red technically does get artifacts back from the graveyard,
Okay,
but
okay.
like if I'm really pushing it, but I would agree with that. It's definitely a lot more black.
Yeah, a mountain here off the top. It means it's going to be a rough go this turn for Kevin, but he can crack his scroll at the very least for 3. But he's going to take some damage in the process.
And the draw here is Ambush Gigapede
Oh,
from OTJ.
that's a good one. That's one you don't see every
Yeah, on a
day.
board like this, it actually looks pretty good on a board like this. But
Oh yeah.
he's short of land, so he's just gonna cast the Raven and considering bombarding the Virus Beetle and just swinging in.
I mean, that's 5, 7, 8, 10, right? That's 10 on the nose.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's with the Mage token and the Raven. That's Xaxes. So
yeah.
yeah, just a few too many lands here for Kevin. Didn't quite work out. Was off colors in game one, and here it just didn't draw enough creatures and interactive spells. So he's going to say, look, I can draw 3, which we like drawing cards, but can't use them
Well,
if your life is zero, unfortunately. So congratulations to Nick on the win here in week 2. And we'll be back in a little while for our second match of the week.